Today we are going to solve systems of equations by graphing, but today our equations are not in slope-intercept form. So we have to figure out something to do that's different than what we did in my previous video. So instead of just graphing them, we're going to change them into slope-intercept form first. So I'm going to do my red line first. 3x minus 2y equals negative 4. And I'm going to put it into y equals mx plus b. Remember that this means I'm going to get rid of everything except y on that left side. So I'm going to draw my line and subtract 3x from both sides. Remember that negative 4 and negative 3x are not like terms, so you actually can't add them. So don't do more math than you're supposed to. You're just going to write it. And I'm going to put my x term first. That way I know it's going to be in y equals mx plus b. Then I need to undo this negative 2 here. So it's multiplying, so I'm going to undo by dividing. And remember that when you divide over here, you have to divide by negative 2 on everything. Because if you're sharing your candy, you can't just share only your Skittles. You have to share your Skittles and your chocolate. Each part you have to share. And so division has to divide by all the parts. So I have y equals negative 3 divided by negative 2. I know that's going to be positive, and it doesn't really simplify. So I'm just going to put 3 over 2x. And then minus 4 divided by negative 2. I know that's going to be a positive because a negative divided by a negative was a positive, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So that's my first line. It's in slope-intercept form. While I'm in this solving mode, I'm just going to go ahead and solve the other one for y as well. So let's subtract x from both sides. And I'm going to have 2y. And remember, don't do anything here. A lot of students do that, and it's a very common mistake. But we don't know what x is, so we can't actually subtract it. So I'm going to put my x first, and then I'm going to put my minus 4. Then divide by 2 on everything, and I get y equals negative 1/2 x. Negative 4 divided by 2 is going to be negative 2. So now I'm going to graph these lines and figure out where they intersect. Let's do our red line. Remember, this is y equals mx plus b. So I always graph the b first. So we're going to put 2 on our y-intercept. So there's my 2. Then 3 over 2 is my slope. That's my change in y over change in x. So I'm going to go up 3, right 2. And I'm going to make that negative to get my other points, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Down 3, left 2, down 3, left 2, down 3, left 2. Oh dear, that's not a straight line at all. Well, that's closer. This is why I draw all my points. Okay, then we have this one. Our y-intercept is that negative 2, so I'm going to put it right there. And then negative 1 over 2, I'm going to choose my y to be the negative 1 for this first bit. So I'm going to go down 1, right 2. And then let's go backwards. Up 1, left 2. All right, so those are my 2 lines. Remember that when we solve the system by graphing, we're looking for the point or points that make both lines true, both equations true, or the point xy that is on both lines. All right, so which point is on both lines? That one. But that's not how you answer the question. You have to actually answer with the coordinates of the point. So our x-coordinate is right there. It's negative 2. And our y-coordinate is right there. It's also negative 1. All right, let's go ahead and do just one more example. We're going to solve the red and solve the blue. Okay, so I want to get y alone. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And remember, 4 minus x is, well, it's kind of like the same as negative x plus 4. I just swap the x terms so that I know it'll be in y equals mx plus b. But don't add those. Don't do it. I know you're tempted. You wanna make it simpler, but you cannot because we don't know what x is. 4 minus 100, 4 minus 99, 4 minus 0.3. I have no idea. Then we're going to divide everything by negative 2. I know you're really tempted to just do it on one term, but do it on all of them. Okay, negative 1 divided by negative 2 is going to be positive 1 over 2. Easy. Math magic. Okay, a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative. You could plug this in your calculator too, and that's 2. Okay, let's solve the other one real quick. Add 4x. Add 4x. 8y. Don't do any math. Okay, and then divide by 8 on everything. And we get y equals, 4 divided by 8. I'm really tempted to say this is 2, but if I divide both the top and bottom by 4, I get 1 over 2. So be careful. If the small number's on the top, it should be a fraction. And then minus 16 divided by 8. Oh, that one, the small number's on the bottom, so it's going to be actually 2. Okay, so this is, okay, let's graph our red line. 1/2 x minus 2, so it's mx plus b. I always graph the y-intercept first, and that's not a preference. You actually have to do that. Let's go to negative 2, and then we're going to go up 1, right 2, because that's my change in y over change in x. My slope is 1 over 2. And then I'm going to go backwards and fill in the rest of the dots, and then graph my line. Okay, let's look at my blue one. Okay, my y-intercept is negative 2. Well, that would be the point they intersect, but let's keep going. It goes up 1, right 2. Wait a minute. Those are the same line. So when we're solving a system of equations, we're thinking, what point is on both lines? And on these ones, all of them are. And all of them would make both equations true. So we're going to answer this by saying infinitely many solutions. Now don't say all, because there's a lot of points like this point that are not on there. So you can't say all solutions. But there are infinitely many, so we can't say just one. So we say infinitely many solutions. So there are 3 types of answers to these problems. There is one solution, and you just write the point. There's infinitely many solutions, and you just write infinitely many solutions. And then there's the one we did yesterday. Where was it? Ooh, this one. No solution, where they don't intersect at all. So there's 3 types of answers for these. And when you do infinitely many solutions, they're going to end up looking exactly the same when you put them in slope-intercept form. When you have no solution, they have the same slope, but they're just a little different. You see that? That's a -1, that's a +1. And when they have just one solution, that just means that the slope is going to be different. They could have the same y-intercept, that's fine, but the slope will be different. Let's see if I have one where I can show you that the slope is different. Oh, like this one. It was -1 and +1. So the slope is different, there will be 1. All right, so that's all for today. Good luck.